Hey guys, so for this video, I'm going to list the best Fortnite players from each and every major country. I made a pretty similar video to this about 5 months ago, however, instead of doing it for each country, I did it for each region. You all really seem to like that idea. That's why today, I wanted to update and add on to it by highlighting specific countries. I'm gonna aim to include about 15 different nations in total. I apologize if I leave yours out. As far as my ranking criteria goes, it's actually pretty simple. I'll only be showcasing players that grew up in the specific country I mentioned, and I'll mainly be focusing on their recent competitive accomplishments. This is a list of the current best players in Chapter 2 Season 3. I still care about past achievements, but I'll be weighing tournaments from the past few months more heavily. Lastly, try to remember these rankings are my opinion. It's more than okay to disagree with me. Just please wait to hear my reasonings and let me know your own down below. So with all of that in mind, let's start in alphabetical order with Argentina. The top pro player in Argentina is without a doubt King. Remember the 13-year-old kid who won nearly $1 million at the World Cup? That was King. He was also the kid that dookied on Tfue and single-handedly put the BR region on the map. In Chapter 2 Season 3, King is still at the top of his game. He finished 2nd in the Week 2 Solo Cash Cup, 5th in FNCS Duos, 2nd in the FNCS Invitational Qualifier, and 1st in the Week 4 Duo Cash Cup. On top of that, King won the first Solo Cash Cup of Season 2, won another 2 Solo Cash Cups the season before that, and placed 4th in the Winter Royale. King took his seat on the throne after the World Cup and has not given it up. That's why I believe he is the best player from Argentina. Up next in alphabetical order is Australia and its best player, PWR Worthy. Worthy is a 17-year-old pro player from Western Australia that averages between 40 to 50 ping. Yes, you heard that correctly, because Western Australia is on the opposite side of the OCE servers, Worthy gets a minimum of 40 ping. Still, he is an absolute beast. Worthy won the first Season 3 Solo Cash Cup, won the second Season 3 Trio Cash Cup, and won the Locky Cup. In addition to that, Worthy placed 4th in the FNCS Solo Invitational, 7th in the FNCS Duo Grand Finals, 1st in 3 different Season 2 Cash Cups, and 1st again in the Winter Royale. The kid is one of the most consistent players in any region. Thus, for those of you at the disadvantage of high ping, Worthy is proof you can still make it to the top. Moving over to a country you probably didn't expect, we have Austria. Austria actually has a lot of really talented Fortnite players. These include Stompy, the 6-time World Cup qualifier, as well as his old duo Chinkin. The best player from Austria though has to go to Cooler Aqua. Aqua is arguably the greatest Fortnite player of all time. Just listen to his achievements. Starting back in Chapter 2, Aqua won the Fortnite World Cup in duos. After that in Season X, he teamed up with Stompy and Chinkin to win the Trio FNCS Grand Finals. Then in Chapter 2 Season 1, Aqua won the first Solo Cash Cup, placed 6th at the DreamHack Winter LAN, and won another 2 Solo Cash Cups. Finally and most recently, Aqua won 2 weeks of the FNCS Duo Qualifiers, finished 4th in the Grand Finals, and came 3rd in the FNCS Solo Invitational. From those placements alone, I rest my case. Still in alphabetical order, let's take a look at Brazil. In my past region video, I said a separate player named King was the best player in Brazil. This King is completely different than the one from Argentina. Now, while the Brazilian King is still really good, I believe the best player from Brazil is Frosty. Frosty is a controller player that took over the scene in Chapter 2. His first huge placement was winning the Week 6 Solo Cash Cup. Following that, Frosty went on to place top 3 in 3 more Season 1 Cash Cups and 1st in 4 Season 2 Cash Cups. By far his most impressive achievement, however, was his FNCS Solo Invitational run. Frosty won the first week, the second week, and the overall Grand Finals. So while people contributed his success to the Mythic Shark POI, his Cash Cup win just last week proves he's still #1. I kinda spoiled this next one from the thumbnail. Nonetheless, it's NRG Zayt in his home country of Canada. Just like Aqua, Zayt is up for debate as the Fortnite GOAT. He's been involved in the competitive scene since the beginning and has always been at the top of it. Here's the proof. Zayt finished 4th at the Fortnite World Cup in duos, would have been 1st without heavy snipers, 1st in the initial Season X Cash Cup, and 4th in the FNCS Trio Grand Finals. Continuing on, Zayt led his squad to 3 first place finishes in FNCS squads, and 4th yet again in the Grand Finals for Chapter 2. Lastly, Zayt won the FNCS Duo Grand Finals and placed 9th in the FNCS Solo Invitational, all while streaming with 2 e-girls. If that does not convince you that Zayt is the best in Canada, then I honestly don't know what else can. 6th on my list is the ridiculously stacked nation of Denmark. Denmark has a pretty small size population, yet has a huge amount of tier 1 pros. There's Thomas HD, the God Sniper, there's Boyer, the EU legend, there's Kejzer, the Exploiter, and there's Flick, the Solo Beast. To me, Denmark's #1 player is not any of them, it's BL Anas. Anas is a player I've featured a lot on my channel. He's a good solo and team player, and he's always been ahead of the meta. For instance, Anas was one of the first players to fully take advantage of floppers. They helped him win 2 Solo Cash Cups and establish himself in the pro pro scene. Another example is quickly understanding the new season formats. Anas placed 9th in the DreamHack event, 1st in 2 daily cash cups, and 1st in the Doid Cup qualifiers. Anas is truly on the come up. Country number 7 is England, as well as the rest of the UK. This is most likely the hardest country to choose the best player from. You have Wolfies, CRR, I know he's from Wales by the way. You also have Mongrel, Verox, Scully, and Magin. In my opinion, the best English Fortnite player has gotta be NRG Benjyfishy. Sorry Mongrel, you know I love you, but Benji has you beat by a tiny bit. Benji won the recent Solo Cash Cup, won the first Season 3 Trio Cash Cup, and placed 5th in the DreamHack Open. In Season 2, he won the Week 5 Duo Cash Cup, won the first 2 weeks of the FNCS Solo Invitational, placed 11th at DreamHack Anaheim, and won yet another Solo Cash Cup. Benji is a god regardless of the format. All he needs to do to make my decision easier is win a major grand finals. I can feel it's coming soon. After England is France, and France's best player is MCES and Alex. This was another really tough judgment to make. On one hand, you have Nate, a European legend that follows me back on Twitter, and then on the other hand, you have Andalex, a consistently elite level beast. Andalex began his reign of terror by winning 2 of the 4 FNCS squad weeks. He also placed top 4 in the other 2, finished 2nd in the DreamHack Winter LAN, and 2nd again in 2 Solo Cash Cups. Andalex really turned it on in Season 2 though. He came 6th at DreamHack Anaheim, won a Solo Cash Cup, won the FNCS Duo Grand Finals, and placed 2nd in the Cash Cup on NA East. Those are some mind-blowing placements. Andalex dominated online, on LAN, on a completely different server. He dominated everywhere. Therefore, he deserves the title as number 1 in France. Still traveling through Europe, the best player from Germany goes to Atlantis Letshe. Prior to Janus Z and Rezon A popping off, Letshe's only real competition was Camo. The two of them were and still are controller gods. What separated Letshe were his solo placements. Letshe was the first EU controller player to qualify for the World Cup. He won the Week 5 qualifiers by a whopping 20 points. That alone put controller players on the map. Additionally, Letshe was the highest placing controller player at the DreamHack Winter LAN. Pretty crazy, right? Well, we're not even done. Letshe finished 2nd in the first week of the FNCS Solo Invitational, 4th the week after, and 8th in the Grand Finals. In trios, he finished 1st in the Amar Cup, 1st in the Champion Cash Cup, and 1st in numerous daily trio cash cups. Even with the name assist nerf, Letshe remains on top. Onto one of my favorite countries, let's talk about Ireland. As you guys should know by now, I am from the United States. I was born here and grew up here. However, my grandparents and ancestors are not, they are all from Ireland. That probably explains why I'm so damn white. Back to the video, the best player from Ireland is Saevid. Saevid is a pro player with some of the weirdest keybinds I've ever seen. He uses H for floor, G for stairs, and mouse button to edit. Still, the dude is an absolute animal. Saevid won the FNCS warm-up in squads, won the first day of the Winter Royale, and came 17th at DreamHack Anaheim. He also finished top 5 in 2 separate weeks of the Duo FNCS, and 3rd in his semi-final heat. So I know I'm being a little bit biased by including Ireland over some of the bigger countries. Regardless, Saevid holds it down. More than halfway through is Japan, and there's only one player that deserves the number 1 spot, Q-Jack. Q-Jack is another player that exploded onto the scene in Chapter 2. He was always near the top prior to that, he just wasn't number 1. That all changed after Q-Jack won the Week 4 Solo Cash Cup. He knew from that placement that he had the potential to dominate, and dominate he did. 2 weeks later, Q-Jack won another Solo Cash Cup, and finished top 5 every single day of the Winter Royale. Where Q-Jack's real pop-off happened was in the FNCS Solo Invitational. This is when he finished 1st in the 2nd week and 1st in the Grand Finals. Considering how RNG pros claim solos are, finishing 1st 2 times is insane. Not to mention, Q-Jack recently did the same thing in trios. He is truly the real deal. I've decided to compile all the Middle Eastern countries into one collective Middle East. Some of these places include Syria, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Bahrain. The best player from this region, more specifically Jordan, is Unit. Unit is a pro player signed by Team SAQR that currently plays on controller. Don't worry, he was actually good before linear aim assist. Beginning in Chapter 2 Season 1, Unit and his squad won the first FNCS qualifier week and placed 3rd in the Grand Finals. Shout out to his teammate Soriano, who was my number 1 last time. Speaking of Soriano, he and Unit teamed up to win the Duo FNCS. Most recently, Unit placed top 5 in the Solo FNCS Invitational qualifier, 3rd in the Grand Finals, and 2nd in the last Duo Cash Cup. He is the most consistent controller player I've seen. Getting towards the end here, our next stop is in the Netherlands with Liquid Metro. Before you say anything, no, I'm not just saying this because I left him out of my team's video or because I really want a Twitter follow. Wink wink. Seriously though, Metro is by far the best Dutch Fortnite player. In trios, he played a key role in MMB's success. MMB meaning Mongrel Metro Bungee. That team won 7 different events, including 3 FNCS qualifier weeks. In squads, Metro found similar success with 2 more top 3 FNCS placements. He also found the God duo in my homie CRR, with whom he placed top 4 in the Winter Royale, 1st in week 3 of the FNCS qualifiers, and 1st in the week 3 Cash Cup. Finally, in solos, Metro won the week 2 Cash Cup and finished 2nd in the first week of the FNCS Solo Invitational. He is the hashtag GOAT. Across the North Sea, we cannot forget about Norway. Norway, just like many of the other Nordic countries, has a boatload of top-tier talent. From Nyrox, the World Cup duo winner, to Andretta and Paytek, I had a few different players to choose from. Ultimately, I went with the more obvious choice of Mr. Saevid. If you don't know who Mr. Saevid is, then you seriously deserve to get slapped. The kid runs competitive Fortnite. Just this season alone, Saevid placed second in the DreamHack Open, second in a solo cash cup, first in a champion trio cash cup, and first in the Amar Trios event. To add on to it, Saevid won a duo cash cup, won the DreamHack Anaheim LAN, and won the Season 2 Week 3 Solo Cash Cup. I don't even need to mention his Chapter 1 placements. That's how good he is and how good he will continue to be. On the topic of Nordic countries, I'm gonna go ahead and skip to Sweden. No joke, I almost couldn't decide who was the best player from this country. Just listen to this list of Swedish players. You have Crew, a former TSM player who placed 6th in the World Cup, Snappy, a squad's FNCS champion, Chapix, another World Cup finalist, and Beehive, the best tweeter ever. After a long debate, I'm going with God Sent Wakey. Wakey is a Fortnite player with over $100,000 in earnings. His most notable achievements include winning the squad FNCS Grand Finals, winning the Week 8 Solo Cash Cup, and finishing 4th at the DreamHack Winter LAN. Less notably, but still as impressive, Wakey finished top 3 in 2 duo FNCS qualifier weeks, 2nd in the first day of the Winter Royale, and 13th in the Season 2 finals. Therefore, at least to me, Wakey takes the cake in Sweden. Second to last country I'll mention is Russia. Russia is basically a 50-50 coin flip between Letwick and Kiriachi. The two of them are elite level tier 1 players. For the sake of this video, however, I have to choose one of them. My choice is Kiriachi. Kiriachi is one of the best fighters in the game. I learned more from him in 10 minutes than I do from most players in hours. As far as his placements go, they're also extremely up to par. Kiriachi won the Season 1 Week 10 Solo Cash Cup, the Season 2 Week 2 Duo Cash Cup, and placed 7th in the Duo FNCS Grand Finals. He also qualified for the FNCS Solo Invitational and finished top 10 in 2 days of the Winter Royale. I'm telling you guys right now, Kiriachi has all the potential he needs to become the best player in the game. To wrap up the video, we're going to talk about my home country, the United States of America. I asked you all on Twitter with some help for choosing the best player, as it was actually a lot harder than I thought it would be. You guys narrowed it down to 3 players: Stretch, Dubs, and Arkrum. The 3 of them have consistently dominated in solos and team game modes, albeit on different NA regions. Who I decided to go with, drumroll please, is 100 Thieves Arkrum. Arkrum solidified his choice as my #1 player just yesterday by winning the NA West DreamHack event. That's not even close to all of it though. Arkrum won both the Champion Trio Cash Cups this season, placed 2nd in 2 of the last 3 solo ones, and won the FNCS Solo Invitational. He cannot be stopped in solos, duos, or trios. That's why I personally think he's the best player in the US of A. Overall guys, those are the best Fortnite players from every major country. I apologize if I left yours out. Places like Spain, Italy, South Africa, Mexico, and Belgium did not make the cut. I love you guys, but I didn't want to make this video 2 hours long. Maybe I'll do a part 2 if this gets like 100,000 likes. Anyways, let me know down below what you agreed or disagreed with, as well as any pro players I should check out. Lastly, if you guys enjoyed the video, do be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and to turn on post notifications. Shout out to everyone using code Jarian. The support has been insane recently, and I cannot thank you all enough. I know I say it every video, I just hope you guys know I really do appreciate you all. Otherwise, that's it from me, and I will see you guys in the next one. Later!
Produced by Bungee. Sound production.